ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Truman Bradley. As I continue to talk, the typewriter records my words. How is it done? In the handle of this microphone is an intricate miniature broadcasting set. In this auto-writer, there is an elaborate receiving set. These tubes receive the sound waves generated by my voice. They translate these vibrations into electronic signals, which in turn activate the keys. This is the brain of the machine. Rather amazing, isn't it? Yet the human brain is even more amazing. Billions of tiny nerve cells are laced together like so many vacuum tubes. The tiny batteries of the human nerve center are charged with bodily electricity. Today, scientists know how to measure brain electricity. Electrodes like this, placed against the scalp, conduct it from the brain to recording devices. Here is the newest of such devices, developed by the British. It's called a toposcope. As my brain concentrates now on this explanation, the electricity my thinking creates is recorded in these light patterns. This single electrode shows the electric response of one area of the brain at a time. But in practice, a number of electrodes are used simultaneously to give the complete pattern. And now comes the question. Is the electrical activity of our brains confined within our own nervous systems, within our own bodies, or can it be broadcast to other minds? Is it possible that one day we shall master the secret of broadcasting directly from one mind to another? This is the theme of our story, a tale of fiction from the borderlands of science. Fiction today, but how about tomorrow? This is the campus of one of our great universities near Washington, D.C. Everything we understand is studied here, and also everything we do not understand. Yesterday's magic is reduced here to the science of brain vibrations. In short, mental telepathy, technically known as parapsychology.
Edna, we'll try one more object. I am focusing on something I'm holding in my hand. I am sending you a mental picture. Can you see it?
You are holding a yellow pencil. It does not have a point.
Well, that's 21 out of 30. You're maintaining your high average and giving me some very interesting pictures on this machine.
I'm sorry to break in like this, Dr. Lawton. I'm Van Dyke of the Inspector General's office at the request of the Defense Department. Doctor, I'm here to take you to the North Pole.
Me? The North Pole?
Why, everyone's going to the North Pole these days, Doctor.
Oh, this is Miss Edna Miner, my assistant, Colonel.
How do you do?
Hello. I don't usually look like the inside of a washing machine, Colonel.
Of course, you were joking about the North Pole, Colonel.
No, Doctor. We need you desperately and immediately.
But me, the North Pole? I'm a researcher in mental telepathy.
Our problem has something to do with telepathy. We're having trouble at one of our most important experimental and weather stations.
What kind of trouble?
The men, they're in a state of mind that's incredible and unreal. They're suddenly psychic. They know what's going on in each other's minds. Their work is going all to pot, and they themselves have gone entirely to pieces. You're the top man in this field, Doctor. We thought you might have some explanation for it. I have a plane standing by. How soon can you leave?
Now, wait a minute, Colonel. I'll need quite a bit of equipment and assistance, and a great deal more information.
We've plenty of room for cargo and personnel. You'll be in flight 18 hours, during which time you'll find out how little we know.
18 hours and 4,400 miles from Washington, D.C. to the North Pole.
3B5, T119, come in, T119.
We're passing over checkpoint Zebra X-ray. ETA 1,522 hours.
Over. Roger. Weather here, Kavoo. Snow on runway firm for normal load, over.
Our load's very light. A quarter ton of equipment plus one witch doctor, one chicken colonel, and one luscious babe. Over.
We're expecting the brass in the brain. Who's the babe? Over.
She's part of the doctor's equipment. You lucky people. Say, how is everything up there? Your character still on cloud 27?
Why don't you just fly your airplane? Over and out.
Sorry, chum. Over and out.
They'll be here in an hour.
I can't wait. Come on, let's play. I'll open it for a quarter. Oh, what's the use? I know all the cards in your hand. Ace of clubs, 10 of diamonds, 10 of spades, 10 of hearts, deuce of hearts. You're wrong. It's 4 of hearts. Oh, I'm sick of it. What's the matter? What's the matter? I said, what's the matter?
Grayson's in trouble. Get a stretcher.
What do you mean Grayson's in trouble?
Well, let's get him. A man can freeze to death in 15 minutes.
Get back to the radio. Maintain contact with the plane. You go along too, Hall. He'll probably need medical care. Thank heaven they're bringing an expert in here to tell us what this is all about.
Close that door. You want to kill this man? This'll help with the pain, Grayson. It's Miss Minor. Dr. Lawton, Captain Boyce, the CO here.
How are you?
Lieutenant Dunn, Captain Hall, Warrant Officer Milliken. This is Mr. Grayson, our meteorologist. How he's still alive, I don't know.
Maybe you can tell us, Dr. Lawton. This man had an accident. No way to communicate with us, but we all knew it. All of us. Milliken and Hall went out and brought him in.
How did you know where he was?
They didn't know, that's the point. This man could have been anywhere from 100 yards to 2 miles from camp in a 360-degree arc.
And yet you went right to him.
Like a homing pigeon. I don't know why or how.
Well, that's what we're here to find out. May as well start right now. Come this way, if you will. Ken, take notes, will you?
Oh, yes, Doctor.
Will you, just sit down there, please. How old are you, Mr. Milliken?
31.
You're a specialist, aren't you?
Radio, sound, radar, and weather balloons.
Oh. Have you ever been a patient in a mental institution?
Now, wait a minute. I'm a graduate of MIT.
Have you ever had any experience before in your life of mental telepathy?
Never.
Now, I have in my hand a book of animal pictures. I am concentrating on this image. I'm trying to transmit to you what I see. Close your eyes and try to see what I am seeing.
I don't have to close my eyes. I see a tiger, a leopard, and a panther.
Extraordinary.
Milliken went through a series of tests to give Dr. Lawton a starting point for his investigation. His score was 66%, 3 times normal. The tension was rising as each man in the detachment was tested in turn. In calling the turn of the dice, in calling off numbers which Lawton wrote down, in identifying geometrical symbols, every one of them manifested incredible telepathic sensitivity. It was far past midnight when Edna was subjected to the same tests, and she appeared to be on her way to an unheard of 100%.
Where did you get this word?
But didn't you send it?
I wrote the word Bible. Then I wrote science.
But that's strange. It was much more intense than all the other words. It brought on a pain. I don't know how to describe it. Oh, I'm sorry, Doctor. I'm awfully exhausted.
I guess we all are. We'd better stop until tomorrow. We'll start again when you're rested.
sudden I was pressing the alarm button, and you stopped me.
Try to think.
I can't.
3B5, this is Stool Air Force Base. What is the meaning of this message?
Stool, 3B5, Colonel Van Dyke. Please repeat back the message. Over.
3B5, we're reading back your message. Yord. Y-O-R-D. Yord. Y-O-R-D. Yord. Y-O-R-D. Yord.
She's fainting.
No, Doctor. This isn't physical. She's in a telepathic trance.
2 hours after Edna collapsed, she was still in a coma. The cause of her collapse was still unknown. Was her condition related in some way to the abnormal situation at the weather station? An attempt was made to detect and compare any impulses that might record and give some clue to Edna's condition.
I've been recording brainwave patterns for 32 years, but I've never seen anything like this.
Dr. Lawton,
Yes?
there's something about this pattern.
Go on.
I've seen a lot of arrays before, recording a lot of different kinds of data. It might be with electronics.
Yes.
There seems to be, if you'll notice, a sort of irregularity in the pulsing. There, it's doing it now.
What does that suggest to you?
Well, I don't know, Colonel, but if you were to hook this onto a circuit while transmitting Morse code, you might get the same kind of a rhythm.
What you're saying is that out of this light pattern, we might get a sound pattern?
I think it's possible.
We can easily record these light impulses on magnetic tape and play them back.
Well, let's try it. I think that'll be enough.
What do you make of it?
It has some kind of fluctuation.
Sounds like gibberish. Yet it gives me a funny kind of feeling.
Funny?
Yeah, like when I got that intuition about Grayson being in trouble.
What about you, Don?
Same thing. I feel uneasy, my mind cluttered.
Now, I can't help remembering what Don said about transmitting Morse code.
You don't think these sounds are intelligible?
I don't know. The Pentagon has a machine that'll break any cipher, code, or language, hasn't it?
Written code, not spoken.
What about the automatic vocal typewriter? I've seen it. It converts sound into words.
Yes. Why not play this tape through the machine? The cryptographers might come up with the right answer.
At dawn, Colonel Van Dyke took off for Washington. The strange tape recording his only baggage. 19 hours later, in the cryptographic section of Central Intelligence, the tape was played back directly into the automatic vocal typewriter and translated into symbols. What was needed next was a key that could break the system like a code.
Look, here's the same four-letter combination repeated several times. I wonder, up at the weather station, they came up with a curious four-letter combination, YORD, Y-O-R-D. Substitute that for this group. You might find a key.
And so the electronic brains in the cryptographic section went to work on the billions of substitutions that might, if it were a code, break it. In the meantime, Edna Minor's condition remained unchanged.
Dr. Lawton, Colonel Van Dyke is on the radio telephone.
Thanks. Dr. Lawton speaking. Can you hear me, Will?
I can hear you. You were right.
You mean there was a meaning?
Yes, YORD was the key word that helped us break the code.
What does it mean?
Disaster call, advise what to do.
What language?
Unknown. I'm sending you a full transcription by radio teletype. Please study the message and call us back. The General is most anxious to know what you think.
Right, Colonel. I'll call you back.
Over and out.
Disaster call. Advise what to do. Exploration ship 797 calling. Power constantly decreasing. Cannot compensate for magnetic pull of planet 3. Disaster call. Advise what to do. End of message.
Well, what is this?
Sounds like double talk. There's the code letters of the Chief of Staff.
Exploration ship. I don't get it.
Planet 3. The Earth is the third planet from the sun.
Holy smoke. What kind of a ship would give its position by planets? A spaceship?
You're kidding.
Maybe not. Add it up. An exploration ship caught in the magnetic field of a planet. Our planet. Our magnetic field.
That's ridiculous.
Why? We're experimenting with flight into space.
So maybe it's something of ours.
Then he wouldn't be any mystery to the Chief of Staff.
The language is unknown, Van Dyke said. But it wasn't even a language. It was a telepathic message.
But why to us?
If this exploration ship is caught in our magnetic field, it's possible that here at the magnetic pole, we would be particularly sensitive to its presence.
Then you actually think this thing is real?
Well, it's more real than anything that's happened this past week.
It would explain everything that's happened. This ship was sending out some kind of an SOS, a plea for help, so intense that it created a force field that enveloped you all and stimulated your brains to a new kind of activity.
SOS. Y-O-R-D. Disaster call. Advise what to do.
They need to know what to do. If they fall into the Earth's atmosphere, they'll burn up the way a meteor does.
Oh, but we can't let that happen. Think of it. A people so advanced that they can navigate from planet to planet, who are so far ahead of us that their method of communication is by mental telepathy. What we could learn from them if only we could establish contact. Lieutenant, see if we can get Colonel Van Dyke.
Yes, sir.
3B5 calling FDX. 3B5 calling FDX. Come in, FDX. 3B5 calling FDX. Come in, FDX. I can't read you, FDX. Try channel Baker. That's better. I've got Dr. Lawton on the line for Colonel Van Dyke. Right, Doctor?
Colonel Van Dyke? Lawton, we've studied your message. We interpret it as a message from a spaceship in trouble. Yes. Every attempt should be made to send them assistance. Suggest you contact top scientists in every field.
The Chief of Staff concurs fully. We are in close contact with the Institute of Advanced Study. Top rocket physicists are working on instructions how to navigate the ship into our atmosphere without excessive friction.
Go on, Colonel.
As soon as we have full instructions, we'll begin to transmit the code at different radio frequencies.
May not work, Colonel. They may never pick it up.
Well, what else do you suggest?
Our best means of communication to them is Edna Minor. Their method of communication is telepathic. The coded instructions should be translated into the same kind of impulses that we have on that tape. And possibly, she can retransmit them to the source from which they came. Believe me, it's our only chance. I'll increase the voltage.
Aren't you afraid of damaging of brain cells?
Up to 0.6, there's no danger. 0.6.
There's no way of knowing if we're getting through to her, is there?
No way.
All stations on Project Yord. A target has been registered at the following position. Azimuth from Washington, D.C., 360. Elevation, 27. Range, 8,740 miles. Repeat, 8,740 miles. Check and report data immediately. Over and out.
360 from Washington would place it directly over us.
That's it. Elevation, 90. Azimuth, 0. Range, We're gonna have to figure that one.
Well, figure it fast.
Why?
Well, they're not moving. They're falling. Whatever power they have is fading, and they haven't got much time.
3B5 to wide wing.
Go ahead, 3B5.
Target is closed 3,000 miles in a straight line, indicating free fall. Target is now 4,500 miles approximate.
Roger, 3B5.
If we're right, target falling at the rate of 9,000 miles an hour.
Roger, over.
At 9,000 miles an hour, we'll be here in another 30 minutes.
Yeah. At 9,000 miles an hour, it'll be a cinder before the 30 minutes are up. It's traveling at the speed of a meteorite.
It'll explode when it hits the mesosphere at an altitude of about 300 miles.
Now at grid 267, speed apparently decreased.
Roger, over.
8B2. We note a decrease in speed, too. Present estimate here, 6,500.
Can we dare to hope our message got through?
We can hope.
What do you think? It's picking up speed again. 3B5 to wide wing.
Roger.
Target is now approaching us at an estimated speed of 9,400 miles an hour.
Roger.
This is 8B2. Same estimate here. It's closing fast.
Darn thing must be almost on top of us.
All stations. All stations. Target is presently between 400 and 500 miles altitude above magnetic North Pole. Speed is increasing rapidly. Speed is increasing rapidly.
B5 to wide wing. Target disappeared at 2147 Zebra. You didn't get through, Doc.
And I thought for a moment we might have. Perhaps we did. They slowed down briefly. And even now, isn't it possible that with power restored, they might have escaped your radar?
Not a chance. You know, it's a funny thing. The tension inside me. It's gone. All gone.
Dr. Lawton,
Edna,
what have we been doing?
a kind of test.
How do you feel, Miss Miner?
Tired, very tired. And disturbed. Very disturbed, Dr. Lawton. As if I'd been through a nightmare.
You have been.
Attention all stations on Project Yord. The following message has been received from the Wrangell Observatory in Alaska. A fireball was sighted and photographed over the North Magnetic Pole at 2147 Zebra.
Then that means that...
In conjunction with radar reports, this indicates the target has been destroyed by atmospheric friction. Project Yord is therefore suspended. This is Wide Wing, over and out.
Right. Dr. Lawton, Colonel Van Dyke on the radio phone.
Lawton speaking.
I'm calling to thank you for the Defense Department, Doctor. It was a magnificent attempt. We're only sorry that it failed.
Yes, it was tragic. But I don't think it was a complete failure. We participated in a great discovery, Colonel. We know now that there is at least another planet with living beings, and we know now that travel in space is within the power of man. It's true, this first meeting of the two civilizations failed, but who knows? There may be a next time.
What do you think? Do you think there will be a next time? Or should I say, do you think there will be a first time? After all, the story you have just seen was fiction. It did not happen. But can it happen? Will it happen? Do you want it to happen? I'll be back in just a moment. We sincerely hope that our program has brought you an exciting bit of entertainment. We hope also that you'll be with us again next week when we'll bring you another story of a little different nature, just as exciting and equally unusual. And now this is your host, Truman Bradley, saying, see you 1 week from today.